Tit for tat. An eye for an eye will leave the village blind, and the one-eyed man will lead them all. Or something like that. I can't remember how the story is told. Let's just hope they don't live next to a cliff. Or maybe it's best that they do, because tit for tat will never end. When the Xbox 360 reigned supreme, they had content for multi-platform games exclusive to their console. Back then, Xbox fanboys poked Sony fans in the eyes, and it stung, to say the least. Not only did third-party games run and play better on Xbox, but their copy was the full retail version of the game. Not an incomplete experience, even though they cost the same price on both systems. The practice of keeping content from multi-platform games exclusive to one version was a problem then, and is still a problem now. And whenever there's a tit, there's gonna be a tat. When the PlayStation 4 reigned supreme, they too started to have content from multiplayer games exclusive to their console, and Sony fanboys were now the ones poking Xbox fans in the eyes, and it hurt. Sure, the initial poke did most of the damage, but the pain never got better. Tat. When Xbox fans turned to Microsoft for comfort or guidance, there was nothing. Desolate silence. Xbox fans couldn't understand. Maybe Xbox couldn't do anything to stop Sony from buying exclusive content, but surely Xbox could do the same. After all, they did this before on the Xbox 360. Tit. But that tat from Xbox will never come. Instead, Phil Spencer came out and said he was not interested in buying exclusive content from games, because in the end, the only ones left hurting were gamers on both sides. It seems Xbox wants to join hands and sing Kumbaya, while Sony continues tit for tat. And now with the new generation coming, there seems to be no end in sight. PlayStation is still continuing with these silly little games, and Xbox fans are tired of being poked and are now demanding that Xbox does the same. An eye for an eye. If Sony is going to get exclusive content in certain games, then Xbox gamers better be getting exclusive content too. Otherwise, what's the point of buying an Xbox if the games on it are incomplete? Sony fanboys are justifying this practice as payback for not only the 360 doing the same, but because Microsoft keeps buying up studios. That's apples and oranges. Tit for tat would be Sony buying studios of their own, which they have been and most likely will do in the future. Sucker Punch is only but one example, and there's countless more. So that criticism doesn't hold water, and if you use it, not only are you stupid, it also shows you like licking boots. A better comparison would be Xbox buying exclusive story missions from popular titles. For example, a hit like Cyberpunk 2077. Sony fans wouldn't be so happy getting less of a game, while still having to pay full price for it. And even though CD Projekt Red would never do such a thing like that because it's not consumer friendly, and it might piss off their fans who have been loyal and supportive, other studios don't have the same morals or are in a position to refuse such an influx of cash. So the potential and the threat of tat from Xbox is definitely on the table. That being said, I do prefer to play third-party games on my Xbox. Xbox Live is fast and dependable. I prefer the controller, and I built a community there for over 10 years. I stood by while PlayStation kept getting exclusive third-party content game after game. As it continues to happen again, it would be easy for me to demand of Xbox an eye for an eye. Not only would it be easy, but in today's standards, it would be expected, even justifiable. As a matter of fact, this wasn't my first take. Before I made this video, there was a previous one that was already complete and ready to go. It asked for blood. When I played it back for final review, I could hear the anger in my voice. I took a step outside myself, only to see a man not getting poked in the eye by Sony fanboys, rather my own fingers elbowed deep in my socket. And at that moment, while screaming, pleading for an eye, I realized I would be partly responsible for a village full of blind gamers, including myself. And in the end, I just couldn't be the one. So instead, I made this video. For Xbox owners, I don't have answers. Video game boycotts don't work. Even then, if they did, you still lose out on playing a game that you might otherwise enjoy regardless if there's content left out. Do you turn the other cheek in hopes they see humanity in the inhumane? It hasn't worked so far. It would be nice if Sony would change, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. To Sony fans, with that extra content, I hope you create memories that last a lifetime. I also hope that you can sympathize with those who will be left out, because even though it would feel good to poke Xbox fans in the eyes, not everyone will turn the other cheek. After all, we know that Xbox under Phil Spencer reacts to feedback from its fans, and if they continue to put pressure on Xbox to respond, more and more gamers are gonna end up blind, running around bumping into each other, screaming from the top of their lungs, how their version of this game is better than that one. None the wiser that with all this tit for tat, the one-eyed man is king, and in this situation, the one who sits on top of a fortune of tears is the corporations who sell off our games.